The protests began before Israel's new government even had the chance to be sworn in.
We are here to say in a very clear way, this is not a unity government, this is extreme right-wing government.
But these few demonstrators are in the minority. Most Israelis voted for right-of-centre parties in February's elections. Benjamin Netanyahu's government is made up of a coalition of conservatives, and he's had to concede many top positions to the smaller parties. But it's the choice of the man to be both foreign minister and deputy prime minister that has brought these demonstrators onto the street. At the formal handing over of power, the new Foreign Minister, Avigdor Lieberman, turned the event into a scathing attack on the former Foreign Minister Tzipi Livni's peace process efforts under the previous government.
וראיתי את כל ההצעות של אהוד אולמרט שהוא נתן אותם ביד נדיבה. לא ראיתי שום תוצאה. מתי מדינת ישראל הייתה הכי פופולרית, הכי חזקה בדעת הקהל בעולם? אחרי ניצחון מלחמת ששת הימים.
Lieberman dropped a bombshell, declaring that the new government would no longer abide by the Annapolis Peace Accord, a 2007 deal made between the previous government, the Palestinians and President Bush, that was intended to speed up the creation of a Palestinian state.
יש מסמך אחד שהוא מחייב אותנו, וזה לא ועידת אנאפוליס, אין לזה שום תוקף.
News services buzzed with the story.
Also in the news, a controversial first outing for Israel's new foreign minister, the ultra-nationalist Avigdor.
And soon the diplomatic fallout began. Egypt's foreign minister announced he would refuse to meet with Lieberman. And President Obama's new Middle East envoy George Mitchell was dispatched to the region, carrying the message that the US was deeply concerned about Israel's refusal to publicly pledge a commitment to the two-state solution.
He has extreme opinions about Arab citizens of Israel, and so this kind of ideology and this kind of party doesn't have a place in a democratic society.
Knesset opposition member Nitzan Horowitz is also worried about the future of the peace process.
Well, the designated Prime Minister Netanyahu refuses to accept even the idea of two-state solution, a Palestinian state and a Jewish state. So, with this kind of attitude, there are no expectations that this government will do anything to push forward the peace process, and so I'm quite pessimistic about the impact of this new government.
So who exactly is Avigdor Lieberman? And how did this former nightclub bouncer, who's being investigated for corruption, climb so high in the government?
חשוב מבחינתי לציין שכל המשא ומתן על בסיס שטחים תמורת שלום זאת טעות גורלית, זאת טעות פשוט בלתי.
Certainly, he has built a loyal following in Israel through hardline statements like that. But he's gone further, even threatening to bomb Egypt, to drop a nuclear weapon on Gaza, and he said that Egypt's President Hosni Mubarak can go to hell. Even elected members of the Knesset, like this Arab-Israeli politician, have felt the lash of Lieberman's tongue. His party, Yisrael Beitanu, or Israel is Our Home, was once considered a far-right fringe party. But after February's elections, it's now the third largest party in Israel.
לא משנה איזה ממשלה תקום. אם אנחנו נהיה חברים באותה ממשלה, היעד הראשון נהיה ברור. חיסול החמאס, הפלת ממשל החמאס, שום הפסקת אש עם החמאס.
He speaks to people's anger. He vents people's feelings, their desire for revenge to get back.
Larry Doifner is a columnist with the Jerusalem Post newspaper.
He spouts off. He talks about bombing this and bombing that, and leveling this and turning this into dust. You know, he shoots. But this is why it works. This is how he gets his votes. This is that's pure demagoguery.
Avigdor Lieberman spent the first 20 years of his life under harsh Soviet rule. His father was held for 7 years in one of Stalin's gulags. In 1978, the family moved to Israel. It was soon after, as a student, that Lieberman is alleged to have formed one of his most controversial associations with the now outlawed Kach Party.
It's an extreme, racist, violent, fundamentalist Jewish party. They've been involved in any number of attempts on the lives and occasionally, in some cases, murders of Arabs and attempts on the lives of leftists as well. Their ideology is summed up in the chant, "Death to the Arabs." They have all sorts of fancy, religious ideas, but bottom line for them is hatred of Arabs.
Just before the February elections, an Israeli journalist interviewed former Kach leaders who claimed Lieberman was a member of their movement for a short period in 1979.
Lieberman denies that. He hasn't been willing to say anything beyond that. I deny it completely. But there are 3 prominent figures in Kach, all of whom say they knew him. One of them says that he made out a membership card in Kach for Lieberman with his picture and his name and the Kach symbol on the card.
Avigdor Lieberman has come under intense scrutiny by the media, and now he's very reticent to even answer journalists' questions, let alone grant an interview, and he refused Dateline's requests. Inside the Palestinian territory of the West Bank, south of Bethlehem, is the Israeli settlement of Nokdim, one of many established by Zionists as part of their claim to this land. Like all West Bank Israeli settlements, it's considered by the United Nations to be illegal, and it has an armed guard at the gate.
Doesn't want to be photographed.
This is where Avigdor Lieberman has lived for the last 20 years.
הוא היה בין הראשונים שהגיעו ובעצם התיישבו פה באזור ההוא במגורים זמניים, באוהלים, בחצאי קרוונים, בתנאים מאוד מאוד קשים.
Rabbi Yaron Durrani has known Lieberman for over 10 years.
הוא באמת איש מיוחד, משפחה מיוחדת, יש לו 3 ילדים מאוד מאוד נחמדים, אישה נהדרת.
With Lieberman now in such a powerful position, Rabbi Durrani hopes that the new government will help settlements like Nokdim expand and grow.
אני מאוד מקווה שבאמת כל הרעיונות הטיפשיים האלה של הפקרת חלקי מולדת תמורת איזשהו שלום מדומה או דברים כאלה, אני מקווה שדברים כאלה יובנו כלא ריאליים, כלא רציניים.
Susie and Isaac Cohen have lived in Nokdim with their 3 children for over 10 years. They take me to see Avigdor Lieberman's house.
So which one does he live in? Over there.
Susie explains why she thinks so many Israelis like him.
He has his ideas, and he really says them. Like, it's not like most of the people in politics, and so they never really say what they think. He's not afraid of anybody.
I think that's what was missing in the last years, that nobody was really proud enough to say that we're Israeli, that's how we are. We don't have to be nice all the time to all the people. We're here because we have the right to be here.
Meanwhile, those who stand to be most affected by some of Lieberman's policies are left pondering what it will all mean for them.
And so here, this is Al-Fahm, and these are Palestinian villages. Jenin is just over there.
Iyad Mohammed is from the Arab village of al-Faham in northern Israel. As a means of reducing the number of Arabs who hold Israeli citizenship, Avigdor Lieberman wants to move al-Faham and its 40,000 Arab residents out of the boundaries of Israel and into the West Bank.
And we are against this idea. We don't want to have to prove for someone who immigrated from Russia just 30 years ago that we are good citizens in a country of the masters.
But perhaps Lieberman won't even get the chance to leave his desired mark on Israeli politics. Lieberman spent his first day as minister being questioned inside this police station in relation to the ongoing bribery and fraud allegations against him.
This is a situation which is a direct and imminent threat to the Israeli democracy.
Daniel Kiros is an attorney with the Movement for Quality Government in Israel.
The head of a political party that has been elected to the parliament is under investigation for some of the most serious crimes on the book in terms of corruption, including...
Kiros is seriously concerned about the transparency of this investigation. Lieberman's party colleague, Yitzhak Aharonovich, has just been appointed head of the ministry in charge of the investigation against Lieberman.
The fact that you know that the people who are above you and those who are above those who are above you want things to go a certain way can have a very deleterious effect on the proper running of this sensitive criminal investigation.
Should the police indict Avigdor Lieberman, he would have to resign from his position as minister, a huge embarrassment to Israel's new government. But no matter what happens to Avigdor Lieberman, his politics seem to be only gaining more support in Israel, as a resolution to this conflict looks further away than ever.
אני מקווה שיהיו שיחות שלום, אבל עם בסיס אחר לחלוטין. כאשר הערבים יראו פה שיש פה אמירה ברורה, פה זאת מדינת היהודים. כל מה שאתם רואים פה זאת ארץ ישראל, נחלת אבותינו, פה הסתובבו אבות האומה, פה דרכו דוד המלך, זה שלנו. ירושלים היא בירת העם היהודי.